Well, hello, and welcome back to the channel, guys. How you doing? How was your day? Hope you're all doing good. Because I'm doing good. You should too. Why not? So we keep on playing the end game again. Farming until the new update is coming up very soon. We're just waiting for that. Until then, here we are. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask me, please go on to the chat. Chat is open for you. I'll respond to anything you ask. Okay? There. I usually play silent, but yeah, I like to talk to. You'd like to. Oh, they keep pressuring me like that. Okay, let me get my orbs back. What we have here? Cool. So, for always watching, please drop a like, share the stream, and sub to the channel if you haven't before. We're streaming almost every freaking day at this time. Things drop in. Hopefully we can craft something of those. That was tough. Too many elites at the same time. Kinda good. A regal orb here. Nothing special here. Okay, only one elite left. They eradicated the others. I love when everything dies like that in one shot. Ooh. Ooh. And here we go. This map is done. Hey, what is this? Freeze as though dealing all damage equal to your maximum mana when hit. That's interesting. Charms gain charges per slot. That's a unique thing, but I don't care. I'll check if I can sell this. 300 exalts. Okay. I'll sell for 280. Because I need some money. Okay. We are golden. What else we have here? We have Blooming Field and Sandspit, and we should do this. We should get there. Open up and to see if we can do the Citadel. Oh. Oh, well, it still was the boss then. If it spawned nearby.
you want, beast. And all mine.
And oh my.
I need more time. I can't yet.
I hate getting stun locked like that. That was close.
Good.
I'm dead. Just got stun locked. I hate this. Hate this so much. I probably will never do those maps on again. Just too many debuffs.
Go on.
That's just waste of my time. Yeah, I like these maps. You know, freeze build up everything. Let me craft some maps. Okay. Build ground, build ground. Okay. Very bad modifiers on those maps, man. That's crazy.
What's the wait? Exalted. Good.
In the right hands, this. I'm not ready.
Exalted.
Getting slowed down so much. Holy shit. Oh. Good enough. Yeah, dropped nothing good, unfortunately. Maybe we should have boss? No. I don't think it's a... we go, here we go. Did we get the freaking ball? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Not on this map, probably. Okay, just exploded. Nice. Holy shit, I'm frozen.
Insulted.
Oh, both of them died? Okay. Thanks.
In the right hands, this could forge something truly
Yeah.
exceptional.
That's awesome. What's next?
Yes.
Greetings. Very bad. Okay, let me do what? I'll just break the stones jet. This one. Yeah. Temporal chains. I mean, all these maps are crap. So let me see what I have here. I need to get rid of those, bro. There's so many. I have no space for all of them. Nobody buys them like that. Okay, let's go. Could be good, could be bad. No, no, no. Very bad. Extremely bad. Could have a good chance being something amazing. Really bad. How many useless maps I have, bro? That's insane. Yeah, this we can craft. Oh, this is a really nice map. Okay. We actually will do that next. This is a bad one. Not interesting. Is rarity? No. 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 Very bad. Okay. The rest we craft. Holy shit, that's a lot of currency. Okay, now we check what we got. What we're gonna use. I don't know, man. I hate those maps because it's so easy to die on them. Okay. Rarity would be good. Nice map. Okay, great map here. Really amazing map. What else we got? I mean, the rest I will just break down, bro. Yeah. I don't want to invest in them.
Hello. I'll be here, waiting.
That's good enough. That's good enough, sir. Holy! Did you see the damage? That almost killed me, bro. Gotta be careful.
You were no warrior.
The hyena mobs are crazy, bro. The fuck was that damage?
Face me.
Oh. Kill some elites, man, for the profits. I'm down with the map at least. I know that I don't risk losing this one. Here we go for profits. Oh. Okay, any elites? No. Any elites on the horizon? And they drop nothing at all.
Yes.
We got da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bum. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, we have to get there to get to this cluster, right? So that's what we're gonna take this one, then this one, then this one, then go blah 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 blah, and on and on and on. Okay. Okay. Let's do that. Let's go. Oh, wait a minute. Just grab something to drink and we'll be back if you don't mind. Boys. Boys. Show me now. Here we go, boys. Should I turn on a podcast? What do you think? Getting bored. Let's listen to something. Maybe Joe Rogan. What do you say? Can we? Let me see if I have something here. What is that? Diary of CEO is not that interesting. Joe Rogan is more fun. Let me see what he has. Billy Corgan. I have no idea who is that. We have clips. It was Elon, which I've already watched. Oh, Bill Murray. Let's have it. Go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Yeah. Thank you for doing this. This is a huge honor for me. I'm a giant fan. Forever. Like, since I was a kid. So.
Whoa. Are we going?
Yeah,
We
we're
started?
for me meeting. There's certain people I meet. It's like, what? Okay. And you're those. You're one of those.
Well, I have a very different experience. I only know about you what I've heard. Never heard your show. I had to ask you, are you Joe? Because I somehow I knew you were like in the fitness, and everyone out there seems to be a weightlifter. And you're out. Even Danielle seems like she did lower body today. But it's nice to meet you, and people are some people are very, very excited that I've got to come down here to be on your show.
Well, you're an interesting guy.
Other people are concerned for me.
Oh, really? Legitimately?
I don't know. I don't know why. It's the weight. I have no predisposed. I have no premonition, but when I walk in here and I see, I gotta look at that. What is that green?
Oh, that's the local racetrack. That's the Circuit of the Americas where Formula One races. So he gave me that.
Okay. Yeah, I walked in and I saw all these Hunter Thompson things. I felt automatically like, okay, well, this guy could be a complete
Bro,
And then I walked
he's
down-
so old, but his voice like sounds so young. That's amazing.
Oh, that hat with the gun?
Yeah, the one where he's in a cockpit. It looked
Yeah.
like
Have you seen
dog
that?
hair hat. That's dog hair.
It's made out of dog hair?
Yeah. And he got such a shock because when it rains on you or snows on you, it's big, you come in the house and you smell like a wet dog. And he loves like doing that. People go like, what in the hell? He's like, oh, my dog. You know, that's the dog right there.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is, are you filming this too? This is whatever you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, yeah, there he is. There's that dog. It's got the head like a big tiger. What year is it? Oh, wow, look at that one. Oof.
Lawyer's gun.
Yeah.
Ooh. Bro,
Good.
that thing almost killed me. That was close.
Maybe.
What, that one there? With the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably, yeah, it was earlier. Yeah, that's funny. It's a I met him, let me drink your magic coffee here. Whose coffee is
Laird
this?
Hamilton's.
Magic
Laird
Coffee.
Hamilton's Superfoods.
I met him, it was one of those years, maybe it was after my first real year on Saturday Night Live, maybe it was 1977, like the spring, summer of 77. I was asked by one of the producers Saturday Night Live if I had to go to, our season had ended, I'd gone to California. And he asked if I would drive his Volkswagen convertible.
Yeah, we have
back
boss.
cross country for him. I was like,
Let's
yeah,
go.
sure. Well, you know, a week or two later, it's like, where's my car?
Good.
John Thompson.
One
in
shot
Reno,
the
we used
boss.
to all
Why
sit in
not,
the
right?
world And we were, you know, threw our cups out the roof and stuff like that. Had a really nice time there. And then I wanted to go to
Okay,
Aspen.
let
I'd
me
never been to
sell
Aspen.
the ring to this
And
guy.
So I went to Aspen
and
stayed at
get
the
back.
Jerome Hotel. I can talk like this because this show is like endless. Right?
Yeah.
So, went to the Jerome Hotel, which was like the place to go back then, and it was off season, which is the
But
best time.
you don't
want
wanna
to
buy
go
it?
Any resort town is like when all the tourists are gone and the citizens regain control of their town for a while.
Yeah.
So the Jerome Hotel, which would have been full of like knucklehead skiers from anywhere, was only full of like the people that worked the town and lived in the town. And they took over the bar and they took over the swimming pool, which was outside. So I was there and it was just, I remember being there and they were like beautiful girls and this really funny guy. And I didn't know who he was. And we just had the most fun, you know, making girls laugh. That's kind of what you know, may or may not have been the reason I was brought here, but you know, that's so we just had the most fun doing it. And then we had this
Insulted.
I started talking about an escape act, underwater
A
escape act, and I
rarity
felt like I
and
could do
all
anything.
mine.
You really think you could escape? And I said, yeah, I think I could do it. So we agreed to it. I agreed to the subject. And I did not know who this guy was. I just thought he was like a funny guy. So, and we were like showing off the girls and stuff and doing whatever. And it was fun. We were just having fun. So I was tied with socks to a lawn and lowered into the pool. But just before we went, I said, hey, just in case I want to take a breath while I'm untying my sock knots, I would move me over here to where it's like 6 feet, you know. So if I have to stand up, Right, yeah, I can take a breath and go back down to the breath. So I went in.
Ooh, I almost died. Damn, that was so close.
So after a little bit, I thought earlier, I was like, maybe I'll just take a quick breath and go back down. Well, I stood up. Well, try it, Joe.
They're making another sale for one divine, as you can see, guys.
Well, I'm a little over 6 feet, but if you're tied to a chair, you don't get
Rumble
to fully
Sapphire.
extend your calves any more than that. So tied to a chair, I'm only like 5'8"
out.
5'8" or something like that. And it was funny to see like that camera shot of like there are people up there and I can't reach them or speak to them because I'm still underwater. So
What can I do?
that's when I started to work more feverishly on the knots, and I kind of was going, hey, this is, I'm kind of leaning with my head like push me down to 5 feet instead of 6 feet, So, but he was strong enough, and because I was
Ooh, this is a
buoyant in the
great
water,
one.
he
We
just
will
picked up the
sell
chair
it for
out
sure.
of the water. So
This one too.
there we go. I lived through it, but it was
This
a
one
funny
is
way to meet someone. And the next day I found out
crap.
that this was Hunter S. Thompson.
You never asked him his name?
No. he never asked me my name. I don't know that he knew who I was either. I think he thought I was just a funny guy, and we were kind of like holding court and being funny.
Everything starts with good health. That's why AG1 is a great addition to any morning
Bro,
routine.
Joe is
I've
doing
worked with
commercial.
once
No.
Once a day, simple, research backed, and designed to support
You don't need
your
that,
whole body
Joe.
health. And it actually tastes great. You can forget juggling
A
multiple
fucking
pills
millionaire.
and supplements. AG1 is a more in-one solution that combines a multivitamin, superior B complex, a blend of superfoods, and more. And more importantly, AG1 prioritizes using nutrients that are already in their bioactive form, so your body can use them easily. Just mix it with cold water and you're set. No hassle, no guesswork. It's never too late to create a new healthy habit for 2025. So try AG1 for yourself. And right now, AG1 is offering new customers a free $76 gift when you subscribe. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure you check out
able to sell those.
drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. That's drinkag1.com/Joe Rogan. Check it out. Well, that must be fun for you.
Check it out.
Like, I enjoy when people don't know who I am. Like, it's very rare for you.
It's preferable.
Yeah, it's not. But you have figured out this way of navigating life where, like, you're not a cell phone guy. You probably don't even have email, do you?
No, I have them. I have these things now. But if you have children, you have to get a cell phone,
Right.
Because they will not answer a telephone, but they will answer a text. So that's
Right.
I had to break down.
Yeah. But you've managed to stay blissfully detached in some sort of way.
Yeah, my email is AOL.com.
Is it really?
Yeah. So that was my concession to it. But
One of my
Bro,
favorite things you did
old
with
guy
Hunter was
vibes from
when,
this one.
It was a film of some sort of documentary or something.
Bill
Very
Murray
good
is the
documentary
best.
footages. And you're going
Love him
around
so
trying to
much.
convince people that Nixon got a bad rap.
yeah, that was good. I was trying to write something funny. I was with my friend
Good.
and I can't remember the light. He was trying to write this thing. And we rented a Klieg light. Like a big Hollywood premiere kind of one of those giant lights that they flash up in the sky. You don't even see them very much anymore. And we were just outside the Chateau Marmont where Hunter had a room at that moment. And we were doing, we were excited because Nixon's back, and we were interviewing alleged people on the street, men on the street saying, what do you think about this? Because it was after Watergate and Nixon had basically brought down and Hunter had a powerful hatred of Nixon, really didn't like this and all this stuff. But I just remember Dick Lasucci saying, well, I'm excited. He's tanned, he's rested, and he's ready. And I still say it all the time. I say it about myself all the time because I think it's funny. How are you, Bill? I'm tanned, I'm rested, and I'm ready.
I'm tanned, I'm rested, I'm ready. Yeah, whatever.
Well, anyway, it became a common phrase.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Like, people use it all the time.
So
They
funny.
probably not even knowing the origin.
that's right.
Yeah.
And it's Dick Lasucci who did it. And
Unfortunately, I cannot get
And
tanned.
we
I'm
were
so
there for
freaking
like
white that it
45
goes
minutes
off in
before,
like
like,
a week.
I work in the industry, and I know you you have to have a permit and have that light on.
I mean, there were people. They came at us. We were a going concern for about 1 hour tops, and that was with like professional argumentative people like Hunter, myself, going, "That is a fabulous watch you're wearing. Where'd you get that?" You know, just anything to keep this thing going and to keep the cameras rolling on our super stuff. But and demands, but. Yeah, that was one of the things. I had a lot of fun with the guy. Really, he really was a lot of fun. He really did make a lot of fun.
I really wish I met him. He's one of those people that just really wish I met him.
Well, you can still read it. You know? There's still so much more stuff that I hadn't even read then. It just keeps appearing. The things are so beautiful that he wrote that are good, and you know, people text me things and say what's going on. How sort of pressured he was about things a long time ago.
Yeah, dead on about so many things. I mean, you could take a lot of his commentary on politics from 1976 and apply it easily to today. You know, Fear and Loathing on the Campaign Trail is one of the best books ever on the American political system, just like what it's like when people are running for office.
Yeah, to me it's a better book than Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, which was really fun. But
yeah,
the Campaign Trail book is so insightful about America and about Americans. You know, it's great reading.
So the movie was fun. Fear and Loathing was fun. It was a great introduction to a lot of people maybe that weren't aware of Hunter. Like maybe then you'll start reading his stuff. But it wasn't all, you know, chaos and acid and seeing lizard people in the bar. It was there was like there's moments in the movie where, you know, there's this one thing where Johnny Depp is at the typewriter. Or is that in the movie or is that in the documentary? Where is that the typewriter? He's talking about how the 1960s there was this great wave of change, and then
the high water mark. You can see it on the mountains. It's a beautiful piece of writing.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
it's amazing. And when Johnny Depp is saying the way he's saying it, it's like it's so beautiful and melodic.
Yeah. Why don't you, Jimmy? Why don't you see if you can find it? It's about the most famous. It's the most famous line you ever wrote.
Let's take this
It's beautiful. Sure, go ahead.
Grab the headphones. Let's take this in.
Strange memories on this nervous night in Las Vegas. Has it been 5 years? 6? It seems like a lifetime. The kind of peak that never comes again. San Francisco in the middle 60s was a very special time and place to be a part of. But no explanation. No mix of words or music or memories can touch that sense of knowing that you were there and alive in that corner of time in the world. Whatever it meant. There was madness in any direction, at any hour. You could strike sparks anywhere. There was a fantastic universal sense that wherever we were doing was right, that we were winning. And that, I think, was the handle. That sense of inevitable victory over the forces of old and evil. Not in any mean or military sense. We didn't need that. Our energy was simply great. We had all the momentum. We were riding the crest of a high and beautiful wave. So now, less than 5 years later, you can go up on a steep hill in Las Vegas and look west. And with the right kind of eye, you can almost see the high water mark. That place where the wave finally broke and rolled back.
God damn, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just an amazing piece of writing that so perfectly captured that very strange moment in time where the anti-war, the peace-love movement just got drowned out by the Nixon administration.
It's a beautiful piece. It glistens your eyes to see it, you know, not just thinking of Hunter and the words that he said, seeing Johnny and how close Johnny and Hunter became, how much they loved each other and how much they shared with each other. It's really a beautiful piece. Thank you.
Yeah, it is a beautiful piece, and it's just so fucking perfect, just perfectly.
Yeah, he got it. He really got it.
Yeah, just encapsulates that time, you know. And it's just, thank God there was a guy like him around to document it from that perspective, to give you this like insight, and that the way he did it with gonzo journalism, where he just would have real facts mixed in with fiction. You couldn't tell what was what, and you had to be in on it to understand what he was doing.
Yeah, you had to enter the event.
Yeah.
To comment on it. You had to be a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You played him.
I did play him.
Yeah, we were talking about it before. I loved it. Where
Right.
the Buffalo Roam.
Yeah. Where
Well-
the Buffalo Room.
Was that weird to play your friend?
It was a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, it was any actor that has to play either a living person, especially a living person, or a famous person has a real responsibility to that person. You know, you can't just be that person for 90 minutes. You have to realize that person was that person for 60 some odd years or 70 or however many years a person was. You've got to try to get all that into your hour and a half or 2 hours. You've got to try to take in as much as you can so you're not lying. You know, at least you're giving the best you can to say, this is who I think he was. This is who I think that person was. She was. He was.
Did you run any of it by him? Did you try to talk to him as him?
Well, he was living in the guest house.
So you were around him all the time?
Yeah. So I would go to work, and I would come home, and then we would stay up, and sort of just an hour or so before, maybe an hour and a half before, 2 hours before dawn, he'd have a NyQuil and scotch in the hot tub, and then go to sleep. And then I had to get about 90 minutes, and then the Teamster was knocking on the window, saying, Bill! Billy! And then I'd have to go to work. That's what it was like shooting the movie.
Wow.
Yeah. And he appears in the movie briefly. You can't remember all of it, but he appears in the movie briefly. And we did, together we wrote a scene. I was always constantly John K. wrote the script, but I was always playing with it, and because I was always being informed more, you know. And that's what I did anyway. I just pretty much, you know, I felt the freedom to change anything. But we did write a scene, Hunter and I wrote a scene that was late in the movie. Or in the beginning, beautiful, massive things.
Cough drops?
Okay. Yeah, so he was in on a lot of it, and the editing of it. You know, we can secretly say that too, and the you know, it was a lot of there was a lot. He was really involved.
Very nice.
So.
So you're saying you wrote a scene? You guys wrote a scene?
Yeah, we wrote a scene together, which was encountering Nixon in a urinal. Because he did have a moment with Nixon where
Yes.
he
In the limo.
Remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was told he could not speak politics, they could only talk NFL football.
Yeah.
Which Nixon was rather, you know, knowledgeable about. You know, and
Yeah.
Hunter copped to it. It was like, yeah, the guy really studied it. And George Allen, it's in the book, you know. But
Yeah.
Nixon even designed a play that he gave to George Allen, who was the coach of the Washington Redskins back then. And they lost like 10 yards or something on the play, but Allen actually ran the play. Nixon's
Wow.
play. Yeah.
That's crazy. It's just also insane that they would let Hunter get in a limousine with the president. Like, just that alone. Like, who greenlit that? Who thought that was a good idea?
He'd been on he was on the campaign trail. He also, for whatever he was, the people who knew, and you know, like Secret Service guys, you ever run into them, they like read people for a living. This is what they do, you know. They read people. and they can really burn a hole through your head and your body just looking at you. And they'll give you this one, you know, they'll just really burn you. And, you know, he'd been on the tour, he'd been on the road with them. They knew who he was. They knew what he was after hours, and they knew what he was during hours, where the people who were really smart knew this guy's really smart. This guy's really smart. He knows politics. And you can't try to dumb down, you can't try to like big time him, because he'll kill you. He'll chop you. He's got the words to answer, and he has the intelligence. So he was a force. People knew who he was, you know. Even to get information, you got to go into the people who work for the guy, you know. So the people that work for the guy know who he is, and they've already established that they have a relationship with him. They can speak with him. He's talking a certain way. There's a reality check. You know, if you're running someone's political campaign, you have the best jokes about the campaign. You know, not Hunter Thompson maybe, but you have the best jokes because you've seen it all. You know how stupid things get, and you know, if you can be realistic and savvy about those things, then people trust you.
Well, it's still pretty extraordinary that they also got him to agree, or at least he thought he would agree, that he would only talk about football.
Well, he knew if he blew it, that was it, and that was going to be the end of it. And it was only, well, I don't know what month it was. But
there's more coffee in this, Billy.
Oh, is that your stuff?
No, that's everybody's.
Okay, well, we'll try to finish
It's
this
hot.
off.
I just feel like yours is probably.
It doesn't have to be super. I keep coffee for days, like at least 2 days. If it's not hot, it's got ice in it.
Just keep drinking.
I just keep drinking it.
Yeah.
That smells good. What kind is that?
Black Rifle Coffee.
Where's that come from?
It's an American company, veteran-owned company that made by real coffee nuts that travel around the world and find different blends and different.
It smells good.
It's very good. It's excellent. Very good coffee. Yeah, it's just that meeting in the limousine is like one of my favorite meetings because it just, you could feel how weird it must have been for Hunter to be sitting in a limo, getting a ride with Nixon, and they're just talking about football, and then they could find
it's very
common
much
ground.
like this is happening. This has been happening in my life, and I'm sure it's happening in everyone's life. Well, it's got to be 10 years where you meet people. We have something in common. We've got something we got to get done. You know. But if we talk politics, we're leaving the rails. You know? All hell's gonna. You know, we're not gonna get along. We're not gonna get anything done. We're never going to be friends, and you know, it could be worse than that. We could be adversaries or even enemies, or you know. So that, I mean, it's you mentioned it. It's like I go places where, I'm sure you do too, where you just can't talk. You just don't want to talk politics with people because there are people that, you know, whose politics can be the exact opposite of yours, completely 12 to 6. And yet there are people that have lived lives that are so extraordinary and so enormous in terms of what they give to the world and the planet. And you think, how, you know, why would I like ever want to get, it's a mystery, you know, it's kind of a mystery, but it's, if you don't like value that first instead of your kind of political, you know, handkerchief, you know, you're making more of a mess, you know. That's kind of what's.
I can't yet.
You know, that's what I feel a lot about what's going on everywhere. You know, that people are leading with their handkerchief and not with their whole self. You know, what they understand about what living is.
I agree 100%. I think that we're just too tribally divided, and people look at it like it's us versus them. They enjoy the comfort of being a part of a tribe. They lock on.
Okay,
to
guys, are you bored or whatever?
Support,
I don't see you messaging me on the chat, guys. Go, boys.
And it's just
I'm just having the podcast on, so there's something to listen to while playing because the game by itself is like kind of relaxing at this point. There's no need to focus on it. Good to have something on the background. Listen, I wanted to listen to Joe Rogan podcast lately, so why not?
living.
I hope you also
want to
enjoyed.
live in a safe place. You want your kids to be able to go to a good
And Bill
school.
Murray
You
is,
want
man,
everybody
is
to
a
prosper and have a
goat.
good time. That's most
You have
of
to
what
listen to
life
him.
is.
He rarely appears
All
on
this
interviews.
other shit that people get so goddamn caught up in, most of it has very little to do with you. And you get locked into it like it's 100% of your identity, and the next thing you know, anybody who opposes you is Hitler. It just gets,
That's true.
it gets so
His
toxic.
name gets bandied about a lot lately, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's a good
You know
one.
what? But you sort of started it by bringing up that quotation of Hunter's, which is so, and I think about that all the time. I can not, but I think about it regularly. Like, what was that force that movement had, that anti-war movement, whatever that was. You know, it wasn't perfect. You know, it wasn't perfect. I think the thing that if I had to regret anything or anyone regrets anything about it was the sort of hostility that was shown towards the actual servicemen, most of whom were drafted, you know, to fight, you know. So those sorts of people had an experience that I will never have. I was in a military movie. That's as good as it ever got for me. But there's the thing about being in war together with people is everybody hates war. And who could hate it more than someone that was there?
Right.
But the sort of camaraderie that you had is an experience, I'll never have that. I'll never have that thing that, you know, Rambo had, you know?
Right.
I'll never have that thing. And I don't think that, I think that there could have been more vision about who we're talking to or who we're talking to about whatever kind of change you want to make. And so that the agents of it are not necessarily the architects, like you said, the people who are making this tribal thing. They're not the agents of it. You know, they're the architects of it. And how do you jump over? How do you know, excuse or not excuse is the word? How do you
unite?
Miss the people that are the agents, who are just people that have a job or whatever it is. They're doing their work to survive and live, whatever it is. How do you get to the architects with whatever you feel is that what could be a shared experience and get them to like sort of dissolve the creation of the tribal world? I think it's you asked a great question. You know, you have people on here, I guess, that you know, or think about those things and have the ability to do something about it. I don't think I have the ability to do anything more than something for myself. You know,
But you do, because you have the ability to express yourself, and you're an example. And a lot of times when someone's a very reasonable, intelligent person like you, and you express yourself, other people get inspired to maybe re-examine the way they're looking at things.
well, that's a nice hope. I hope that maybe that'll happen.
I think that's maybe one of the only.
Right back at you then. Okay.
Thank you. Because part of our problem in this country is that we're in competition every 2 years. Every 2 years you have midterms.
It
and
is
you have
crazy,
elections
isn't it?
every 4 years. So
we don't get a break.
No, we don't get a break.
We don't get a break from these people.
No, we don't get a break. We don't get a break from
We don't
division.
Get a break.
We don't get a break from propaganda. We don't get a break from new threats. We don't get a break. It's like every day it's a new thing. And it keeps us completely in this constant state of stress and anxiety, and also this fear of being overcome. Like your side's going to lose.
Yeah, if I
the
fall
bad
asleep
people
too
are
early
going
tonight,
to. We're going to lose the
I'm
internet.
supposed to be on watch or something.
Yeah, it's very, very stressful, and it's not healthy for human beings to be constantly in this state of competition and stress. It's bad for, and then on top of that, you have most people are addicted to social media, so you're constantly getting inundated with the worst fucking things in the world all day long, and you're freaking out. It's terrible for you. It's fucking terrible for you.
I mean, that footage made me cry. Now you're gonna make me cry. Okay, no, it's true. Someone's got to. There has to be some sort of a new. I don't know if it has to be a club, but you know, there's got to be some sort of new. You know, it used to be music. I think music played such a big part of whatever that movement was, whatever you call the peace movement or the hippies or you know, whatever it was. It was an extraordinary moment in time, and the music was part of the experience and part of the. It brought the message, and it crashed through everybody's brain. You know, there wasn't a side to it.
Right.
It's like, what were the soldiers listening to in Vietnam? Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
we were all listening to the same stuff, no
Yeah.
matter where you were.
Yeah.
No matter where you were listening to the same music. No matter what your politic thing was, the music sort of told a story. Sort of suggested a possibility. So,
And the music was so much different than the music of the past.
yeah.
And it was like you go from 1959 to 1969, you're dealing with a completely different dimension. And it's because it was all psychedelically inspired. And that was another thing that the Nixon administration did. They passed that sweeping Schedule 1 Psychedelics Act, made everything illegal, and just threw water on the whole movement. And then everything changes. Then you have the 70s, music starts getting weird. The 80s, it completely falls apart. Cars start looking like shit. People start dressing stupid.
No,
It's
now
like,
you're talking.
Yeah.
Now you're talking. It's a real language. You know,
Yeah.
It's like when I never tied it all to that sweeping thing, but when you revisit that, you realize how much harm that did, that kind of lawmaking. But let's all agree that the cars don't look as good as they used to.
look
Okay,
like
let's
dog
look.
shit.
Who are those people that say that are really good problem solvers? I see them every once in a while, and they go like, "See, do it." I say, "Well, first," I say, "What can we agree on?" Okay, so we can agree that cars don't look so good no more. You know,
Well, they look good
It used to be
now.
that every single year, every single car looked different than it
Yes.
looked the year before.
yes.
And that's mind-boggling nowadays to think about that. And even now with it, cars are made of, I don't know, plastic? What are they made of?
Yeah, they're made of shit.
They're made of nothing. They're not made of steel. They did it with steel back then.
Right.
And now they're made with, I don't know, some sort of carbon something or
Insulted.
other. And
A rarity.
you would think they would be able to, like,
Mine.
I don't know what a 3D printer is, I have to confess. I have no idea
We
what
actually talked about it yesterday.
I have no idea what
The
a
biggest
3D
one's 4 feet long.
The biggest one is 4 feet long?
Yeah, it's long. They're not.
So can you make...
You
could
can't make
a
giant
table out of
things.
this? You can't make anything
Not
bigger
really.
than 4 feet.
I don't think so.
But
I mean, maybe there's some like
car parts
super.
now are, I mean, if you have a car, if you
Yeah.
have a fender bender, there's like 7 parts you have to replace. now.
Yeah.
Panels and panels and panels.
But that's also because they're better structurally to withstand impact. They have these layers and they're designed in a way that makes it safer for you. They're a lot safer than old cars. And I fucking love old cars.
And the sound systems are better.
Yeah.
Let's face it.
But new cars look great. New cars are awesome. There's a lot of like really good looking American cars, a lot of really good looking German cars. What happened in the 1970s and the 1980s was a drop off, a significant drop off from the 60s. The 60s cars were some of the best looking cars of all time. Like a 65 Corvette, one of the
power.
greatest looking cars the world's ever
I was
designed.
a 62 Corvette guy.
Oh,
to
those
be
are
honest
beautiful
with you.
too. Model 1, the first one, Generation 1. But like, you know, Camaros and Barracudas, like they made beautiful, wild looking cars back then. And I think a lot of that had to do with just the way creativity was encouraged in the 1960s. It was more free flowing. The music was completely radical and different. Politics was radical and different. And that's why they passed those laws. They passed those laws to stop the anti-war movement. It was a civil rights movement and,
And
the
the guy they
anti-war
put
movement.
in charge was a man who had absolutely no qualifications. Who had no qualifications to do any of it.
No.
Yeah, it's kind of I've got someone friend that's been trying to get me to do a movie about it, but the person responsible for making all the laws was someone who had absolutely no background in any of the fields, no knowledge whatsoever, just a total huckster
Yeah.
that got himself out in front.
Well, they probably had a mandate. They gave him a mandate. This is what we're going to do. This is the plan. We're going to lock up all these hippies.
Well,
and
yeah,
lock
I'll
up all
carry
these
the
people.
flag. I'll
Yeah.
carry the flag. Yeah, whatever it is,
Yep.
I'll run up the hill.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I heard that Buick is going to make a car, and this could be wrong, but I heard they're going to make a car next year that's not going to look like any car, ever. It's going to be like a brand new, whatever the hell, 25 or 26 Buick, and it's not going to look like the 24 or 5. It's going to look like its own individual thing that they're going to try to recommence the idea of making a new car every year. You didn't hear this?
No, like a completely new kind of model.
Yeah, like the idea that you would make a car that didn't look like like you can look at a car and you go like, that's a Volvo, but that part of it looks like a Mercedes, that part of it looks like an Infiniti, that part of the
Right.
car looks like, a Toyota. That kind of, it's
Yeah.
like you've heard probably the story about the, what's that car called? The Ford that's got a animal name?
Mustang?
Taurus.
Taurus.
Now there's a story, now it could be apocryphal,
Okay.
that the Ford Taurus, you never heard this one?
No.
I thought you were like this guy, you had all the
Taurus is a
information.
piece of shit. I don't care
Okay,
about Tauruses.
well the Taurus, yeah, the Taurus is like, it's not the most beautiful car in the world,
No.
but it was a huge seller for Ford. They sold a lot of them, and the story is that these guys at Ford designed a car, and they took the rear quarter panel from this automobile, the fender from this, the back fender from this, the rear windows from this, and just did a composite of all these different cars. And the car was, this car's bullshit. And we'll call it the Taurus. And they presented it to Ford, who went, we love it. And then proceeded to sell hundreds of thousands of them. And that this is a story. Like, where's your phone calls here? Hey, caller number one, you heard about this? No one's ever heard this story? You've
No,
never heard this one?
I've never heard that. No.
Well, anyway,
but I
that's a
believe
story.
it. It makes
But
sense.
You can believe it if you look at the cars that are built
Right.
now, that they are absolutely like, look at that damn Volvo. It looks exactly like a 3 year ago Mercedes or something like that. They just really just steal. And
Jamie, pull up 2024 Shelby Mustang Super Snake. So there's still
better yet,
some
Jamie,
cars.
roll it in here.
Just check out what this looks like. There's cars that they make today that are unique looking
No.
and look badass.
I wish I'd bought a Shelby back when I first had a paycheck. 'Cause,
Oh, yeah.
they're such beautiful cars.
That's
Oh.
look at that. Come on.
Well, that kind of funny when I first look at it, it looks a little Chevy to me.
It does a little bit. It could be like a Camaro.
I mean, look at that. That looks like Chevy.
I mean,
I'm
that's
back,
a beautiful
guys.
car though, right?
Well, you know, you
That's
could
a
photograph either of
fucking-
us from a certain angle.
no,
and
no, I've
we'd
seen
look
that one
good.
in real life. That's a beautiful car.
Could be. Yeah,
That's a beautiful car.
that's better.
Oh, and it
But
sounds amazing.
But I'd hate to hit anything with that thing.
In what way?
I would hate to bump into anything. It looks like I'd have to.
Yeah, you'd have to replace a lot of it. That's true. That's
See, can you dig up that picture there? What's the rear look like? Oh, it's got a spoiler.
Yeah. Come on.
No, I how do you feel about spoilers?
Fucking badass. That thing looks awesome. That looks amazing.
Well, I think the original one is like the super coolest car.
Oh yeah. Oh, no doubt. I mean, if you go back and look at pull up Boss 429, 1969 Boss 429. This to me is the pinnacle of muscle car design. Is the Boss 429. Like that is just spectacular.
So
Look
now
at that.
what year
Look
is-
at that.
Well, that's pretty close. Well, that's got that scoop in the front.
Yeah.
That's pretty close to the Bullet here, right? The Bullet car.
68. Yeah, Bullet 68. I actually have a recreation of that.
I was watching it. They found the original Bullet car? Did you know that?
Yes,
I was
yeah, it
reading
sold
about
for
that
like
this
3
week.
weeks.
I saw it was on TV last week, and I've watched it a lot of times. That movie because, and I think Steve McQueen's pretty damn good. But when you watch the movie, it's obviously the roaring through San Francisco and all that sort of stuff. It's famous for. And then there's the ending where this sort of story ends with kind of a flaming crash. It's kind of not really kind of an ending in a way. But watching it this particular time, it was all the moments in between all that really make the movie.
Yeah.
All the quiet in between, where he's in the grocery store, he's with
Yes.
the girl, he's at the mailbox, seeing these people and these people, and he has this very quiet inner self that's dealing with people very respectfully, and his blood pressure only moves. The needle only starts to move when he gets with the bad guy, Chalmers, who's obviously a fraud of some sort, and he's got him you see him not just as an actor keeping his cool, but as like a cop keeping his cool, like a person he knows is trying to use him. And those just watching that part of the performance and that part of the story was much more interesting. The first time I saw all that as its own. Yes, the car stuff had very little to do with what I was getting from the people. The car stuff was nothing. And his boss was a great actor, Simon Oakland, I think his name is. He was great as his boss, who said, "I'm going to hold this till Monday morning." That kind of guy. And there was some great acting in that. It's a really beautiful American movie like that.
I'm so glad you brought that up because it's one of the things that I love about that movie and Le Mans, another great Steve McQueen movie, is that he had these moments, and you could do that in a movie back then where no one was talking.
There's a
There's
lot
no
of quiet
music.
when you pull it. A lot of quiet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just you're taking in this story, but it's very compelling. And sometimes there's not even any music, right? And like in Le Mans, the whole first part of it, there's no talking at all for quite a while. It's just like you're getting the sounds and the feeling of being this race car driver, and he's driving his 911 down this country road. Yeah, and it engrosses you in a different way. It pulls you into the
Is
story.
that Bullet where he's writing? What movie is he driving like a dune buggy? Is that Bullet too? Or is that, no, that's the other one. The one in Boston. That's a pretty good movie too.
Which one's that?
Come on, they remade it.
Proceed.
Thomas Crown Affair. Yeah. And obviously he's having time, you know, it's like, how about we shoot some stuff in a dune buggy? And basically they had like a whole day.
Oh, there
yeah,
he
this.
is.
Yeah. And he's having a time. And meanwhile, he's got Faye Dunaway in there going,
Good.
roaring around, and he could really drive, right? He could really drive
like
a car.
really drive. Like you could really flip one of these fucking things if you're driving like
For
him
sure,
and you don't know what
for
you're doing.
sure.
Yeah, he's going sideways.
What is showing there?
She is having the time of her life. Look at that, spinning it out in the water.
With a movie star who doesn't even have a seatbelt on, probably.
No, they didn't have seatbelts back then.
Jesus Christ.
Well, she might have a seatbelt. She looks like she's probably. But that was cool.
He was like the archetypal movie star. He was a movie star. Like that guy was a movie star. You know, there was something about him that was compelling. He lived his life in this sort of wild renegade way and drove race cars, and he was a man's man. And when you saw him in a movie, you believed it.
Well, I've been watching. I've come to be watching all the old cowboy shows on a satellite. I watch all the old cowboy shows. And Wanted Dead or Alive was always a super cool show. And I've been watching it just to say, what the hell's he up to? Man, he is just...
Mike M said you have
no
this
one
build
was getting
posted
away with
anywhere?
that. No
Looks
one
fun.
was doing what he was
I've
doing,
been running
which was
Corrupt and Cry.
so
Skadish
small
build,
and so
but it's kind
slick.
of
He was
boring.
really
Boring.
preparing himself to
Mike,
be
no,
movie
I've
guy.
never posted this
because
build, but if you need any information, I can give it to you.
Self-controlled.
Be honest,
So
it's
in
kind
his
of
skin,
makeover of
you
one
know.
of the
And
builds
he's
I
always
found on
got a piece
Mobilytics,
of business to do. He always had a piece of
and
business to
just
do.
gave it a little
Like
bit of my
something
spin,
to
and
do,
it
like the
works. Like
way
it one-shots everything, it one-shots
strapped on his
every bridge boss,
sawed-off
whatever you do.
rifle and-
We can even try
Then
to
he-
do
you
a
know, you
bridge
keep thinking
boss
it's a
now
sawed-off
if you want
shotgun.
to.
It's a sawed-off
Just
rifle,
for the show, you know.
you know. So
The only thing
Just
which
all his
is
moves
really sad is that we
very
have
little. His face
very
gave
small
very
movement
little away.
speed.
he would
If I
probably
could
do
fix
half
that
a pound
somehow, I
kind of stuff.
think I won't be
It's
able
just fun
because
to
I'm
watch
using
him
trample
see
toe
how little
shoes
he
and
could
it
do
has
and
maximum
get
of
it
like
done.
15%
Yeah.
increased
I
movement
like-
speed. That's
I
it.
like that about him.
So probably
But he
let's
always had,
do
like, he
let's do
kind of
one bridge
challenged
boss,
himself
okay?
to do something
Let's do that
physical,
so I
like,
can show it to
he'd be
you.
talking to you, he'd
Okay, we have
just even that. You could
almost enough splinters. Let me buy the rest and do that.
He would just, the way he did it was a guy who had a real
I
natural
need
way with his
50.
body. It was fun.
Yeah, well, he would just draw
Salted.
you
Hmm.
in all
Well-
his films. And just it's like in a way that was it was just different. It's just like it was a different presence on
Nice.
screen.
There's that guy.
Mike M said, yeah, I
Sawed-off
wouldn't mind
rifle.
seeing a boss.
See, it's a sawed-off. It's not a shotgun. It's a rifle.
Let's do that. But
And he had, see that little shtick? He's got it so it locks in and then swings back.
yeah, the problem
He
is
could
speed.
actually,
Like
if he
when
wished
there's
to,
a race to reach
better-
the end
better not
boss,
wish to
we'll
get
lose a
used to
lot
it.
of time.
He could just sort of swivel it and fire while it's still attached to his waistband.
I never saw this show. I didn't even.
You
know it
never saw
existed.
this show?
I didn't know it existed until right now.
Kind of a citizen, are you?
I am a little younger. That's all it is.
This is that's all it is. Well, you can find this. There's these new cowboy shows channels. There's like 4 channels. I have DirecTV, and so you can go and watch.
Oh.
That, God, that's
Yeah,
a
we're
famous
losing
guy.
time.
Oh God.
That's not
Oh,
good.
who's that? Oh, that's Cody. I know who this guy is. Well, I don't know who he is, but I recognize him. Help me, somebody. Who's that guy? Anyway, there's a few channels. There's one
Bro,
called INSP.
I'm making mistakes.
There's also the Cowboy Channel. There's also channel 364, 304, 323.
Is this
81?
DirecTV? What is this?
DirecTV. And they're all, and you can, and I just go through going like, what have I got to find? So I can see the
Mike
rifleman.
M said looks more like a
Oh,
warrior
yeah.
build and spamming sounds like
Also
like
a
I do.
rifle guy. But he has
Yeah, I'm
a
just
rifle.
using default attacks. I don't need
That's
Hammer of
Chuck
Gods or
Norris,
anything.
Chicago
It's just
Cub,
that
baseball
strong.
player.
Oh, really?
Yes. And allegedly did some art films. But also, he was good too.
I mean, you don't need
Chuck Norris
those.
was good. The Lone Ranger.
I'm not ready.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And that was...
Has insane damage potential, but I think it's going to get fixed on one of the patches because it's broken. The synergy is broken, in my opinion.
Lone Rangers where it's not our Lone Ranger being the Lone Ranger, and who wasn't as good as our Lone Ranger. And now our Lone Ranger comes back, and it turns out I finally figured out that he sort of went on strike. He said he wanted a contract raise after the first season or something.
Mike
And
M
said
said
no.
love how it
He went
clears.
ahead and made a season with this other guy, and people went,
Just
"When
let
are
me
you gonna
get to
kill
the
off
end,
Lone
bro.
Ranger?" You know, no offense to that man's family.
Okay,
I'm
where's...
sure
Do we have
paid for
Breach
his
Rings?
college, but
Unset Ring.
oh, come on.
Don't jump. Bro, just
Look at it.
The guy's name? Jamie.
Breach Ring.
Jamie, you got a lot
Breach
of-
Ring. Bro, just leave me alone. Please?
I'll give you this one.
Okay, Breach Ring. Bro, where do they even come from? Holy shit.
One of these names? Michael Landon?
There's probably Elite left somewhere. Wait, let me kill him.
No, it's none of those guys. Lon Chaney's misspelled. But it's
Well, they just spawn. I don't know.
Coburn's in there twice.
I'm trying to find the Breach Rings. There's another one.
No. See, it started on radio first. That's what you're getting. You're pulling up.
That's
radio
only 3,
here.
it seems.
What are you
Yeah. Yeah, let's go and kill the boss then.
doing? I saw Clayton where he came to a Jewel food store near us. The Lone Ranger was going to appear, but he was not allowed to wear the mask.
I'm using this Ice Walls to gain rage charges and also to increase the area damage. So that's what to keep in mind.
Imagine a contract saying you can't do personal.
That's it, just one shot. And it's tier 4 Breach Boss, by the way.
So he could go and be right on an elephant. I think I may have seen him riding on an elephant in a parade once. But also,
Okay, we got shit loot
Well,
from
I
him
should
though.
talk about movies because I'm supposed to be talking about movies.
Yes.
Since we
It's okay.
Tell me about your movie.
I got 2 movies. I have 3 movies. I'll work
Mike M
backwards
said
from the one
holy.
which is least, which is farthest
Oh
away.
yeah.
I did one with Wes Anderson called The Phoenician something. That's the title. It's, you know, I'm sorry, Wes. The Phoenician. You know what it is? The Phoenician Scheme.
Mike M said,
And,
well, yeah, I might want to
I
pivot
have
to
a
this
lot
bill.
of trouble with names nowadays. But the guy who did the set design.
Of how
can
it
you figure
clears
that out?
wholly. Well, yeah, I might
This
want
guy
to
is the
pivot to
most
this.
famous- he's the
Probably
best
you
in
will.
this show. These are the most beautiful sets
Yeah, we
I've
got
ever
4
seen
Breach
in a
Rings.
movie.
Let's craft them, okay?
Um,
That's the fun part.
Come on.
Let me just put
It's
them
coming.
here in the middle so
I'm
everybody
sorry,
can see it.
everybody, but I just haven't
Let me
been
drop the
getting enough
rest
sleep.
of the stuff
No
which I
worries.
have here
Anyway,
and which we
that's
don't
a great
need.
movie. That we shot that in Berlin, and there's great people in it.
1,
It's
2,
got,
3, 4. Okay.
I wanna
Bad.
say Toshiro
Oh,
Mifune, that's
very
not
nice
the guy
stats
who
on this
played
one.
Che.
Could be valuable. This is bad.
Mike M said looks fine.
Come on, help me out here.
Yeah,
Or
we
you-
got
you
only
look
one
it up,
good
Jim.
ring
You get
here,
back to us
which we
with this.
can
Anyway, that movie's coming in a bit. And
really craft and make
Benito.
super expensive.
Yeah, Benito's really good. He's really good and he's really cool. And Michael Cera, right? Is he
Eh?
the third?
Did you say Benicio?
2 divine
Benicio
minimum,
del Toro.
okay?
Yeah.
So
I said Benito. You said you
He's
said
great. in
Tomato.
Fear
Yeah.
and Loathing as
18
well.
divine.
Awesome in that.
He's great. He's
with 32 intelligence, probably around 20 divine, bro. I'll just
and
leave
then
it
the daughter,
as it is.
Whose name is of Kate
Uh,
Winslet, who is really wonderful. So the 3 of them are.
So if it
extraordinary
sells,
people.
it's like really worth the investment.
And
What
their
about
names like
this?
Cupid or
Mana
Eve or
regen,
something.
evasion
It's great. What's it
rating,
about?
maximum life, fire resistance. I mean,
Huh?
they
What's her name?
all can be
Mia.
valuable. We just need to
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
kind of stats they drop.
Something. Mia.
That's
I
not
have
good.
No idea what it's about. You're gonna have to
good.
pay the money. There she is,
A
right
dark
there.
tale
Not
of
good.
espionage
Okay, we just
followed
break those
a
then.
strained
Really? There it
father-daughter
is.
relationship with a family business. All right.
Yeah, Willem's got a good part, but it's really those. Keep going, keep going.
Mike
Benedict
M said nice.
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, they're all
Willem
swell
Dafoe.
and fun.
Yeah, the
Michael
breach
Cera-
rings
Michael
are
Cera is
usually
huge.
really
He's
good.
fantastic.
Some
Yeah,
of
he's
them,
a
not
really
all
good
of
guy.
them.
Michael Cera,
If you can drop
Benicio,
something
and,
good,
Mia are the
why
really
not?
the
Bryan
muscle.
Cranston.
And they're great.
Oh,
Anyway,
wait,
that's
wait,
gonna
wait.
be
I'll keep
really
this
good.
for
April.
the
All his
Citadel.
movies are
We'll
like
take
they
this
are.
one.
They're all great. And that one's going to be very good. That one's going to be funny too. Then I made a movie called The Friend, which stars what's her name? Naomi Watts, and a dog. There's a huge dog. Are you a dog guy?
I love dogs.
Okay, so there's a massive, really big dog. I mean, it's pretty much as big. There it is. There's Naomi, and there's the dog. The dog is that big. See how big it is? Yeah, that's the words for it.
Yeah, that's a Great Dane.
And it's an amazing dog, and the script is great. It's written by it's from a book written by a woman named Sigrid Nunez. And can you pop up on the titles there, maybe? What one was the other thing? Yeah, these guys, correct. These guys. David Siegel.
Nobody can hear you over there, unfortunately. Nobody can hear you over there. You're gonna have to come back.
Scott McGehee and David Siegel wrote the script and directed it. And they're great. I love those guys.
Is that an
They made a
elite?
few
No,
good movies,
fuck off.
And this one's really good. And this Sigrid Nunez is a kind of a big deal author. People know who she is that read lots of
And what
books.
is the friend?
Guys, whoever is watching, please drop a
The
like,
friend,
share
well,
the stream,
yeah,
and
there-
drop a
there you
sub
go.
if you want
So
to.
that's the question. Well, that's
That will really help
a little
the
bit of
channel.
puzzle of it. So who is the
I know
friend?
I'm
Is the
small
friend
creator for now,
the
but
friend or is
maybe
the
we
friend
can
the-
go
you know,
big
the
with
dog
you.
represents something.
Who knows?
Oh, okay.
It's a little
We
different
can
than
make that
a
happen.
lot of the ones we get to, but it's really good. It's really good. I like it. It's been to film festivals and people, laugh and cry and the whole thing. Yeah.
How do you pick things to do now? Like you've done so much. You've had this insane career.
I'm going to tell you that, but let me finish the last one because
go ahead.
today is your show live?
No.
Mike
comes
just
off my
followed.
head.
Tomorrow. Okay, so this
Thanks
is-
for the follow,
so
Mike.
That's what I want to ask because this movie, the third movie, opens
Thanks a
today,
lot, sir.
which is yesterday, and it's called.
I play
Rift.
various
And
games,
this
not
is a
only
movie
POE, so
that you have to see.
maybe you can find it useful.
You
I
have
will
to
see
see
it.
this. This is really something. This is a movie you should take.
I'm planning to
10
start
of your
streaming
friends to.
Crack Punk starting from tomorrow,
It will
so
be, I guarantee
that's
you,
gonna be part of the
this
routine
was
also.
Tell me what it is.
Well, there's a trailer for it up there. See, there's.
Let's
Pete.
play the trailer.
Okay, you can do it.
Play the trailer.
I wasn't. There you go.
Slaps
After
in
this map, I'll show how the build works,
Past 2 hours, you were passing gas like a very sick
so you
infant.
can try it yourself.
I got a brain on.
But you need a little bit of investment, like probably maybe 3 devices or something to get a good shoes,
Christ, Lonnie.
with good stats on it.
She said, "Mike,
Maybe you even have it, who knows.
because
I
your
had
name's
mine,
Lonnie
I just
Jensen." Yep,
vauled
he
it and
called you
got
Lefty,
lucky.
and you called him Lonnie. Well, I overreacted. Okay.
Son, we gotta talk about Lefty.
What did you do?
You killed his son.
You're gonna kill us. What are you doing? I get horny when I'm scared. I'm married. So exalted. You know?
This is our son.
We're too young to be grandparents. All because we couldn't pull out in time.
You could have skis.
I would categorize these as a must kill.
And what are we?
Family.
Can I get you anything? I'd sell my left tit for an Advil and a cup of coffee.
You said what?
Who was first?
There was this food incident, Rocco, with pubes in my wonton soup. If it's okay, I would just really like to torture him a little bit, if it's okay.
Shouldn't have done that, Rocco. Yeah, knock yourself out.
Oh my god. Are we all gonna die?
My cam asks I'm 94 and running through boss is pretty easy. Just looking for something different than spamming seismic cry. What build did you start with on mobile?
me before you two start
each other. That's a very standard AOE build which you can get, I mean, from any Titan, because I'll show you just the passes, okay? So you will get it if you're playing the Titan yourself, so you know. It's all about increasing,
I'm not gonna.
wait, let me show you from here. Increasing area damage
Mike M said I have 17 divs, so I should be able to try something new.
Yeah, for sure then. There's no problem for you then. Area of damage is the most important note you need to take.
Yeah.
Then you invest into shield and
that's- I
scale
get too
a
much
lot
as
of
far as I'm
damage and
concerned,
defenses
but,
from
They always
shield.
do, though, right?
That's the way,
I don't
like, you
know.
know, physical damage and
Not
everything.
always.
This is
Not
all
always,
damage notes.
but
You
it's
don't need them in the
common.
beginning.
it's
Mostly you
kinda
will
nicer to see as a
scale these
surprise instead
ones.
of,
And
oh,
there is
should I
ones
do
also
this?
here
No,
which
it's
I
okay.
already
There
take
you go.
off because I
But
don't
some
need them.
people think,
Which
I never
increase the
must see
area
that, but I
damage. Let me
guarantee you
just
this
highlight
movie
that.
is really,
Area
really
damage.
I love a movie where I don't get to see the trailer. I
Yeah.
really do. Where I
Here,
was like,
like
yeah,
this
You could
one's.
say, yeah, you
And
could not show
of
the
course,
trailer.
this
That would
one's
be
for the
okay.
stats because you
They
need
had- there
like
was one- I saw
shit
one
ton
that
of
was like
strengths
just
in
the
order
first part of
to
that,
use
and
this
then
one.
they just showed
Like
the
take
episode, and I was
will
hoping nothing
200,
would work.
axes, maces, and swords.
This kind of makes it seem like a
Because
little
it
bit
increases the attribute requirement. So I invested in strengths here,
put
down
the next guy,
threshold.
just a little
This
bit
one I
too
just
much
got
stuff, a little bit too
for
much stuff for me.
synergy of
Maybe.
damage was this one,
Yeah,
and
see
there's
about it.
another
But
one here.
Anyway, it's good.
There's two notes.
And
This one is
Jennifer-
just
yeah,
I don't know where to
so
spend
Jennifer
all my
Connelly's
other
got some unbelievable
like
things to say
notes.
in the
That's why I'm
movie.
just
She's got
investing
some
here.
amazing things to
But
say.
on level
And
85, it
Harris
already
is
works. You
really,
don't
really
need
good in the
anything
movie. Pete
else.
Davidson, who I
This one
had
is
no
just
idea
a
about.
simple
We
timeless
were
ruby just to
sidekicks
make this
in the
increase
movie,
its
and we had a very
attributes,
good
and that's
time.
it.
Did some good stuff.
Very, very simple
Lewis
build.
Pullman, who's
And
Bill Pullman's
regarding the
son,
ones, you need
is
this
really good. I
bulking
mean,
form first.
and
Then if you
Emanuela,
want to, you can do this or
Italian
that.
plus
It
the
really
king.
doesn't
Yeah.
matter because
She's
you
just
one-shot everything. At
wonderful,
level
beautiful.
85, you already do
And
that. At
Gabby,
level 80
I
even.
call her Gabby.
The
Gabrielle
main
Union.
thing which enables this
And
build
Miles'
is
last
this.
name I can't remember 'cause I just wanna call
And the
Miles' name
overkill
before
damage
that
should be
little
over
kid there.
34%. 34 is the minimum which I
He has
got.
he plays the
You
voice
can get
of
even more if you want to, but there is no need.
the Electric
You need a
Genie
really good
Bunny
shield with
show
good
or
block
something like
chance
that on-
and, you know,
on Nickelodeon or
resistances
something like
if you
that.
want
He
to.
does like weird cartoon voices.
Oh, yeah?
The rest is just all about
watch a lot of
capping
Nickelodeon
spirit
cartoons?
because
I
you will
don't
need
anymore.
spirit
My kids are teenagers now.
to use
I used to.
Dash,
I used to.
Herald of
I used to
Ice,
see all
and
about
Green
Nihao
Fist.
Thailand.
And,
Oh,
and
see, I don't
Berserk,
know that
like
one.
that. It requires a
guess
lot
I-
of
I
spirit.
guess
Like you need
SpongeBob. My
160
brother
spirit.
plays
That should be
the
enough.
Flying Dutchman.
Oh,
And
SpongeBob.
Poltercone,
So I watched
the
a lot
thing
of
which
that.
you can get for
That's
exalts.
about it. I don't know.
I crafted mine, so
How
I
do
got
you
lucky and
decide,
got increased
what
damage on it,
projects to
but
pick?
it's really good.
It's really just what.
So basically,
well,
how
there are
the
certain
build
people,
works,
like,
the simple
like
mace
the
strike
people that I've
just
worked with
creates an
before,
AOE because of
there are some,
just, you know,
like, Wes
passives,
Anderson is one,
the area
Jim
damage.
Jarmusch.
And
Those are
every
the
area
people
damage
are
just stacks up
others. And those
on
two
each
people
other.
call and
So
say, "I got
there are
something,"
more
and I
enemies,
just
more
say, "Okay,
explosions. More enemies, more
You know,
explosions.
that's 'cause I
When
know
it comes to boss or
know what
elites,
they're-
you need something to blow
I
up,
know- I
right,
know
for
what I
overkill
can
damage.
do, and
That's
I
why
know
you
that
use
they
wall of
look out
ice.
for me, and they
It
treat
creates,
people well. I
like
love
every
good
icicle
people, and I love
explodes,
good
right?
artists,
So
that's
when you
just
do
the
this,
thing.
it
But
creates
the other ones
massive
are more like,
AOE damage, and that kills the
like,
bosses. And
you have to read the script.
if you can
There's
increase
people-
rage,
you know,
that's
the script
plus
is pretty much
30%
it. The
damage.
script's
Why
there.
not? Okay.
I mean,
That's what kills the
you know,
bosses.
I can always help improve a script, but if the
Pretty
basic
much
thing isn't there,
this,
it's
like,
I
the,
was
there's nothing
scratching
special
at
about
one
this build or
the other
nothing
day, and I'm
over
writing,
the
I'm like,
head.
What the hell am I doing this for? This is just terrible. Every page is like.
Let me try to sell those, by the
So,
way.
but if it's not good, and usually, you know, in like 5
What is
pages,
experience, fire
whether or not
resistance?
to even continue reading the script at all. You
Yeah.
know, so.
So a lot of it's based on relationships and people that you trust and
Only
know.
those are very
Mike M
few.
said it
There's
doesn't
only
look like I'd
very
have to
few
respect
people
too
that I
much.
have
I'll
those
give it a
kind of
try.
relationships with.
That
Yeah.
one's always
Like
nasty.
multiple
I mean,
jobs with them,
that's
and
what
they
I'm
kill
saying. It's
every time.
really
They're
basic
good.
build.
They're
There is
really
nothing
good.
special about it.
So when they call, it's like
It's
I
just
don't
people
waste my time telling you
hadn't
the story.
discovered
Just send me
it
the
like
thing, you know,
in
right.
masses.
You don't
Like,
have to waste any
what
time on
3D
there.
lines?
Keep telling
Really?
me,
I'm gonna
you
sell
know,
it
So
then.
that's it.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. It's
God, that's such a great feeling when you trust someone that much and you're so enthusiastic about working with them.
Yeah,
You're
it
like,
means
"Let's
like
go."
great, and you know, like people make the making of a movie part of
That's
their
some energy
living.
shield,
you know,
armor.
Like Wes is probably the most extreme example in that that. Like we all live in a quasi-dormitory. You know, we take over a small hotel in some city, and all the actors and like the key crew live in the hotel. And you come down for breakfast in the morning, and people pad down in their slippers and their jammies, and they have coffee and stuff, and they look at the newspaper and say, "What are we doing today?" And then they like pad back up the stairs and get on their clothes, and they go to work. It's cool. It's really nice. It really is like what you always thought it would be. Like in the old days, like what if we all lived in a dorm and we were just being funny all day, you know, like that.
Yeah. What was it like working on Kingpin?
Well, those guys have more fun making movies than anyone. They really make it fun. Like I remember, like in between shots on Kingpin, we'd be on the side of a road somewhere, and it would be like everybody's got to pick up a rock, and we got to throw it at that telephone pole. You know, who's going to hit the telephone pole with the rock? So we would sit there and like, I don't know, $1, $10, $100, whatever it was, we're throwing, and somebody's got to hit the rock. You know, and then people like that a lot of cash and pay, because it's just like we just got to keep this thing going. You know, we're not going to let the energy of this thing drop.
Just fun. Keep the fun rolling.
Fun, yeah, and just creativity and always being loose and always being physical, always being, you know,
Mike M said I'll stop by again soon and share how the build is going. Like
Okay.
sub.
And
Yeah,
and
thank you, bro.
entertaining
See you
each other.
later then,
Really
and have
making
fun
this
with your new
goddamn
build.
We are going to have fun, or else.
Let me know
If you don't have
if
fun doing
you
comedy,
have
you
anything
just
to
made a
ask for.
bad
Just drop by.
movie that's not funny.
Or comments on the
Yeah.
videos.
Well, it comes off in the film. The film is so fucking funny. It's so good, and it's one of those films like you tried making that today, it would be an uphill trudge.
Well, you know, and that's like one of those things. They had a moment on Saturday Night Live, an in memoriam thing. They said, "Oh, someone." I always forget every week of the thing and said, "Yeah, so and so's working on the in memoriam." And I'm thinking, "Who's gone? Who's gone?" You know, and no, it's not. It's not who's passed away. It's what we can't do anymore to be funny. You know, and so it was like all these kinds of jokes, and so it was just a whole clip. I didn't see it, but I saw a little bit of it being assembled, but it could be 40 minutes long. It's just all the sketches that people would get, like, you know, internet responses like we're going to burn down the city of New York.
It could be hours long today.
Yeah.
Hours long.
Yeah, I'm short with 45, but some of the funniest things ever done. You know,
Yes.
like Head Wound Harry.
Yeah,
You know, which
yeah.
was one that not many people think about, but how, you know, like somebody would object to a dog eating a brain wound. You know, like licking like the blood coming out of someone's skeletal wound. You know, but someone told me on the way here, a friend of mine, a musician named Mike Zito, who said he listens to your show. He said that you knew Phil Hartman.
Yeah, very well.
What did you do with Phil Hartman?
News Radio, the sitcom we did together.
Okay, I didn't really watch much of News Radio, but
It was
what were you doing on it?
94 to 99. I played the sort of like the maintenance guy on this radio station, and Phil was the lead anchor, and yeah.
And did you resent him because you were doing maintenance and he was the lead anchor? No. So, no, it's a joke. And where was it? Was it on CBS?
NBC.
Yeah.
In
And
the
so, and he
90s.
was the news anchor. Well,
Yes.
he's got that
Yes.
crazy voice.
Oh,
Right?
he was great.
Yeah.
He was. We became really good friends. He was a wonderful guy. We actually played one of his clips the other day. We had to take it out of the show, but it was a clip from SNL that you could never play today about a doctor who decided that every child was female and he had to do operations on all of them. And we were like, holy shit. Holy shit. And it's like, 90% of his births involved an operation to turn into a girl. They were all girls.
That's funny.
It was insane. But he was great.
Yeah, he was really good. I worked with him. I mean, I did Saturday Night Live, I guess, when he was there, but he was in the movie we made called Quick Change. And he was like sterling silver. It was like every single take was just like perfect.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And you just go, Phil, that was so great. And you go like, he was so kind of modestly proud of like, yeah, I felt pretty good.
Yeah.
It was really nice. He had real modesty.
Yes, he did. Well, he was a guy who made it late in his career, late in his life.
Yeah.
So he was, before he was an artist, we have one of his albums out there in the other room.
He was a musician?
No, an artist.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, he was a musician as well. He did
Why
music
did I
as
say
well.
musician?
But he
you
did
said one of his
covers.
albums. I was looking at Final today, so that's why it went into my head.
It was a cover of an album that he drew.
Oh.
Yeah. He was an illustrator. He was brilliant. Like, really, really good.
I'd love to see that.
And then he was on Petey's Playhouse. Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
May he
That guy,
rest in
right?
peace.
Yeah.
That guy was fucking great too.
And the lady, I didn't really watch a lot of Pee Wee's Playhouse, but he was a funny guy, that guy. And his lady sidekick died this week or something. I don't know.
On Pee Wee's
I'm not
I
up to
didn't
date
see
on
that.
anything, but
Hey.
who? Yeah.
Get more.
All right.
And Mary Stewart.
There
Lynn
she
Marie
is.
Stewart.
Lynn Marie. See, I didn't. Oh, I guess I'd recognize her if her face were bigger head.
So I think Phil, because of the fact that he made it late in life, like he was just so happy to be
Perspective. Yeah. Exactly
there.
right. Yeah.
He had. I mean, I think he was like 37 or something when he got SNL. You know, so it's like that's the point where a lot of people start thinking, "Hey, this is never going to happen for me."
And then he was, he was a hero. I mean,
Yeah.
he could do a lot of things. He had a lot of chops. He had a great voice, and he could play straight, and doing comedy is the ability to play straight, and he could really do it. He could really do it.
Yeah.
Well, I miss that guy. He was good. He was a good guy.
Yeah, I missed him terribly. That was a crazy one because I knew the whole family. I knew the wife. I knew the whole situation. He had tried to divorce her a few times. Tried to leave a few times. It always went back. And
yeah, and that's also the guy. He would go back and keep trying to make things work. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a very unusual guy. And what a fucking professional. Like, he would make me feel like I wasn't doing enough. Like, he'd have, like, all the scripts would have tabs for all the scenes that he was in. And then he'd have notes underneath each thing, and everything would be organized. He had a 3-ring binder he would put the script in.
Well, that's going too far.
He would hole punch the moment he got the script, put it in the 3-ring binder. Oh, yeah. No, he was...
I didn't have that much faith in the scripts. I knew they were going to change a lot from Wednesday to Friday. If it was a big scene, I knew they would rewrite it the next 2 days.
Well, there was a lot.
I didn't because it's hard to unlearn.
Yes.
So I would not learn.
Yeah.
Because unlearning is really hard.
Yeah.
Like if you have a sketch that's this long and all of a sudden it's this long, you got problems.
Have you ever met Dave Foley?
I think so. He was one of the guys from. Yeah, I saw him. He goes out with my brother Joel. He sings. They do like an improv thing called Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, okay.
So I only met him recently. I met him recently. I finally saw my brother's show that he goes out with Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Right. With Greg Proops and all those guys.
And they kill.
Yeah.
I mean, there's I knew they were going to kill, because I know how good my brother is as an improviser. He can, if you get good at it, and my brother is really good at it, far better than I ever was or what could hope to be, because he's really kept at it, and so he really goes hard at it. He's really good at it. I knew that they would kill. I didn't realize how much fun the show would be from an audience perspective. Like, they drag a lot of people up on the stage, and I think, well, that can go any old way at all.
Yeah.
And they managed to get, the show I saw, they had people in the audience that probably should have been hired. They were that funny. But there's something about the uncertainty of bringing up someone from the audience that raises the energy level and the expectation and the possibility.
Yeah.
And the crowd goes crazy for it. And the actors, the performers go crazy too, because it's like, God damn, they just killed us. They just came up here and murdered us.
Yeah.
And that's where the real fun is. So they are enjoying themselves.
Well, it's a tight show. They've been doing that show for so long. Like, their muscles are like very developed. Their comedy improvisation muscles. They're just so sharp. When you do a show like that on the road constantly, like, you develop a sort of feel for how to improvise and how things can go.
Well, you're
my
fearless.
head hurts,
and,
man, like crazy. I don't know why.
You certainly, anyone that's ever been in that racket knows you can't be afraid of dying.
Right.
So, if you're not afraid of dying, let's go. Here we go. And anything. And there's
Professor
a handful
said,
of you, so it's like the Magnificent Seven. If I don't kill you, he will.
Right.
So,
Bill.
so if I don't kill you, he will.
Yeah.
So
Just explain it
it's
like
fun
a
to
couple
watch.
of minutes
it's really
before.
Fun to watch. Finally see it live. I've only seen it
I'll
the live
showcase
show
to you
was
after this
Cyber
map,
Minute,
okay? How it works.
They're coming to a town
But
near
it's a
you.
basic
If you're
Titan
in
build
the
you
range.
pick, this area damage. Then add a
Dave
couple of
Foley, who
units
was
to
on
it, and
His
that's
Call,
it.
was,
Very
he was
basic
also on His
and
Radio.
easy to do.
Oh, okay.
He played the manager of the station, who's in charge of
Who else was on
reining in
that
Phil
show?
Hartman.
So
Stephen Root from Office Space and a million other things. Andy Dick, Maura Tierney, Vicki Lewis, Candy Alexander.
I know a lot of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was the show.
Well, that was so. How it ran 5 years?
Yeah. Well, around 4 years, and then Phil got killed, and
Oh,
then
that's what ended it?
John Lovitz, who was a good friend of his, took his place. Well, not take it over necessarily. It was a
They
real
changed it.
ensemble.
I
I mean,
see.
Dave was really the main star. Dave Foley was, but it was. It just, for whatever reason, I think the John Lovitz ones were really fun. They were really good, but it was just.
He's different, funny.
It was just the end of the line. The show was over, and it got canceled after the 5th year.
Yeah, there's something about it was like that Saturday Night Live for 50 years. Like, wait a second, high school is only 5 years. Why should this show be any longer?
5 years is a long time. It's a long time.
I know, it's amazing to think.
Yeah.
We thought like 5 years, this is it. We're done. Goodbye, everybody. That was 45 years ago. Who the hell thought that would happen?
I mean, is it the longest running show ever on television?
I think the Today Show is the longest running.
Oh, is it
show.
really?
Well,
Interesting.
if I had to guess.
Certainly the longest running show that's actually entertaining. I mean, SNL's been around for so
Don't tell
long.
Al Roker that, buddy. Can I take a break a second?
Yeah. Yeah. Take a leak. Be right back. Okay. I'll do a little bit. See you in a bit.
You have so much cool stuff on the walls.
A lot of art.
Do you do shows where you walk around and show all the stuff?
No.
Really?
No. It's personal. It's just
Okay.
for us. For us and the guests.
Well, there is a photograph in the men's room. I didn't.
Which one?
Check. It's Presley, and it
Yeah.
looks like it's a mugshot.
It's a fake mugshot.
It's a
so
fake,
what it is
yeah.
he went to the White House and
It's
he met
that,
Nixon.
oh, okay. The gun thing where he gives him a revolver.
Yeah.
Some automatic pistol.
Yeah. What did he give him?
And Nixon gives him a drug badge to be a drug agent. You don't know that part?
That's right. I forgot about that part.
He gave Presley a gun badge.
Because
to be
Presley would talk shit about all these guys who were doing drugs. Meanwhile, he was high as fuck.
Well, he was in pain,
Yes.
He was in pain. He had physical pain. Yeah.
What was the physical pain? What was wrong with him?
I think he did the splits a lot of times. Like Chevy's. Chevy hurt himself falling.
Oh yeah.
People have pain. But Presley had. I don't know. I don't remember all the facts. But Presley had physical pain, and he. I don't know what his back or something like this. Sacroiliac.
And they got him hooked.
And so he had like painkillers.
Right, but it's just hilarious that he was the drug guy.
It is hilarious. Yeah, it's like good fun. It's,
Yeah.
it's like a great American story, and
Yeah.
you just see the picture. There's a photograph that exists of Nixon handing him the badge, and you can laugh looking at it, going, right, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
But yeah, there it is, and there's the damn badge, special assistant. Special assistant. You know what I did see the other night? Did you ever see Frost and Nixon?
No.
It's a movie that was made, and back in the day, after Watergate, is his name David Frost? He was a British interview cat, and he staged. He had this idea that he was trying to he sort of lost his place in the universe of England anyway, or the world. And he came up with this idea somehow to if he could somehow get an interview with Richard Nixon. And it's a pretty well-made movie. It's a very well-made movie about it. And they paint Frost pretty much as like maybe what he was like, sort of what the perception, my perception is kind of what he was like. Not a perfect person, but certainly not, but certainly got some juice. Certainly has some sort of idea of something going on. That sounds very small, but he was a little complicated. That's the word. And Nixon too. And I just want to say that Frank Langella, who I only know from he was kind of like a Broadway guy, and he did some horror movies. He's really good as Nixon. very, very, very good as Nixon, and it's just a really well-made movie. And I was up in New York, and I thought, I'm going to find Frank Langella.
There it is, right there.
And tell him so. There's the guy who don't know what this man's name is who plays for us. I can't recall anything, but he's good. And there's Langella playing Nixon, and Langella is really good as Nixon. And Nixon's not easy to do.
Does he do the voice well?
He does him well, and when you try too hard.
Your personal lawyer came to Washington.
There you go. But you see, it's good. Yeah, he's really good. So I never got around to finding out where Frank Langella lived in New York or calling him up. But maybe someone who knows him, listens to your show, will say, "Hey, Frank, you got a shout out today in Texas."
That guy's great. He's great. Yeah. That whole Nixon Watergate story, I used to think about it very differently until Tucker Carlson broke it down for me. Bob Woodward was an intelligence agent, and the first time he ever gets a job as a journalist, he's covering Watergate. The FBI, all the people that were involved in the break-in, FBI people, like it was a complete intelligence operation. Nixon definitely did the things they.
Okay, guys, I gotta go. We'll have some rest. Thank you for being here. Thank you for likes, for support, for comments, for everything. If you don't mind, drop a like, share the stream if you can, so it shows up in more words later on. And sub to the channel if you haven't before. See you tomorrow, boys. Bye-bye.
Digging into who killed JFK. One of the things that they wanted to set up when he